here. I'm still trying to figure out the way they're wanting to do lives on this, but here's what we're going to do today. We're going to take and see if we can get to splitting the cases today, but we've got some work to do, and I've got to do a few minor things here, and I'm going to get to try some new tools out here. I got a new set of snap ring pliers, which we're going to use on the clutch side because we have a couple of wheels that are stuck on, there's some idlers on the counter shaft. And I don't think the main shaft, I think there's an idler that works. It's not really an idler, it's a wheel for the oil pump. I think it has to come off. We're going to double check with that. But first and foremost, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove this piece here that holds on the spacer for the seal. It's not really a spacer, it's a part of the seal for the counter shaft. I'm going to take this piece off, and we're going to take our cam chain guide off here. Then we're going to flip to the other side and remove those other materials. I've got the main, the crankshaft nuts, and there's also, we're going to have to remove the counterbalance or shaft. So I don't know if we're going to split the cases or not, but we're darn sure going to try. Good grief, is this thing even, it's kind of crooked. Let's take a look. That is what it's going to be, my friends. We're friends. Oh crap, floor's getting busy. I'm getting dizzy. I don't know. I would encourage anybody to be active in the chat as we're going to post this live after we're done. But please be active in the comments section. Ask questions. Even if they may be redundant, that's fine. But we're going to get right into it here. Okay. Luckily, I've got my 10 millimeter. What we're going to start with is I'm going to go ahead and, what am I doing? I'm going to remove the cam chain guide and get the cam chain out of there. What in the world? I was thinking maybe it was loose. Those bolts weren't very tight in there. I don't like that. Those are funky looking, but they're matching, so that works. Okay. Sometimes this can be a little bit of a challenge. What? A little piece of gasket there. That's probably from the stator cover. So there's our cam chain guide. And I'm just going to set, let's see, make sure no parts, no parts are going to come off of that. I'm just going to set that on our pile of other stuff. And as we've been doing here, this is going to have no impact on what we're doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run these bolts in just so they stay in put, and it's one less thing we have to worry about. I'm going to switch over to our 8 millimeter. I'm going to take, good grief, get on there. That one's in there. Oof. It's mean. Those are probably thread locked. Red, are you crazy? that red in there? What's up with that? Threadlock red. That's a bold move, Cotton. Bold move. It's gross. And I will have to, when I flip this back over, and if we do attempt to remove the, or split the cases, I'll have to remove that sensor. Come on now. Okay, one thing I want to do here, get back over here on the side with you. I can't see if anybody's interacting with the chat here. Maybe that's the downfall of... It shows I got one person in here. Interact with the chat if you would. So I got the cam chain here. And this cam chain, it is... Hello. Yeah, I can see you. Good. So this is for you. Anyway. Maybe you saw what that was. But this is messed up. It's bad shape. So I think I got one of these if it's the same series as the 2000 and I think it's for a 2012 that I worked on a while back. I'm just going to chuck that over there. Okay, it's time to flip this over. I'm probably not going to be able to get a hold of this, but I'm going to try. Do I have... I don't know if I brought it over here or not. I did not. I thought I had my big handle pliers over here, but I don't have them. Oh, but I do have this. So that's nice. Oh, is it mean? No, not too bad. So instead of having to backtrack, we'll go ahead and get this out of here. Now, what this is going to have, there's going to be some things in here I'm going to wanting to put in a plastic bag. So I'm going to put this sensor. Oh man, it is grumpy. Super grumpy. There must be a little bit of corrosion on here. All I'm trying to do is trying to get this gear shift position sensor removed here, and it is being difficult. I about got it. Good. So I just got to get the second screw here after I get this one out of here. Good grief, that was grumpy. Did they put thread lock on that too? Blue thread lock. Yeah. Now that can't, I mean, my question there is that OEM? Or is that somebody that's been in here before? Oh man, looks grumpy. So what it feels like is these screws may have gone into some threads, or the threads may go through a certain point on the cases. Yeah. And set up, and so I'm having to break that material off as I'm unthreading this. Oh man, it is not a happy camper. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just keeping some good downward pressure on that. You know, it's probably a JIS, but it's very, very close to a Phillips, and yeah, we didn't do any damage here. I'm gonna take this out. Wow, there's plenty of thread lock in there. It's backing out, and we'll have to inspect the O-ring on that. Come on. Since this is plastic, I really don't want to try to pry on it. Oh, it's coming. What a grumpy. Okay. So here's our sensor. Good thing I got plenty of plastic bags. I actually went to the store and bought some more plastic bags. So now in this shift drum part here, it's just a single tit, and I'll show you my tit. Oh man, that's grumpy. That's a mechanical term. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. Ah, there it is. Must be brass. Yeah, it's brass. It's non-magnetic. Usually these have a spring inside, and that's why I was taking a little bit of this extra effort to remove this with my other pick. Get it out of there. Maybe it's not what I thought it was after all. Been working on DRZs too much. Oh well. Okay. So we've got that off. Okay. Wish I had my water pump pliers here, but I don't have them handy, so we're not going to mess with it. It'll come out in the long run. Okay, coming back on this side. I've got a few things to remove. I've got to get our selector. That rascal. It did go ahead and come out. It was that spring. Don't want to lose the spring. Okay, so we've got to loosen this balancer shaft. We got a nut, and we got to loosen our main shaft nut and get all of our keys off of that. This is our counter shaft. That's what I meant to say. Our counter shaft idler for the kickstart needs to come off, and that's a snap ring. And this oil pump gear is in the way of our selector piece here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it off and put those two in a bag by themselves. And we'll have to go ahead and, I can go ahead and remove the shift shaft. I think. Go ahead and remove it. There we go. Got the shift shaft. Got it out of the way. And it's got its spring. It can just set down here, no problems. All right. I'm going to interact with the chat here in a second, and if anybody's watching, please put something in the chat for us today. Who likes the sideways format? Is the sideways format working for you? So, new tool, unboxing, recorded live. Dewey's Garage Living Room Edition. And this is Vice Grip brand. Irwin. So it's Irwin Vice Grip. Ooh. I think this tool is having some identity crisis issues. Because what is it? Is it Irwin or is it Vice Grip? Is it both at the same time? I mean, not that I mean, it can identify as whatever it wants to, but crying out loud, make your mind up. Okay. Okay. So we got tools. This is exactly what I want. This is a much better tool than what I've been using. And so I can reverse this and force it close if I need to by flipping it, I think, to this side or something like that. But how about that? So what I'm going to do is these little, for our non-mechanical friends here, these little dimples will go into this ring and it'll cause it to expand and come out of its slot that's holding the gear into place. So just like that, got the rod into the hole. Let's see here. No washers. Oh, there's a washer here. Okay, good. Very important to keep track of those. And it's a little bit knotty, but a lot of times I like reusing the snap rings. Don't tell anybody. And here's our idler for the oil pump. It interacts with the clutch. So if you don't have your clutch in place and you start your engine, you're not getting any oil anywhere. FYI. There we go. And that one got expanded pretty hard. So I'm probably going to replace that snap ring. It's not having it. It's got bent quite a bit. So those go in there. And this is just like my WR/YZ426 400. Okay. So I've got to remove our selector here. And these can be a real pain sometimes. Here we go. We got 10 millimeter. So I got a 10 millimeter, and it looks like another 10 millimeter here for our selector. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time for this being upside down for you. So I got a 10 millimeter here. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get me a baggie. I just like to keep everything together so we don't end up with anything lost. That's why I got these bins. There's our selector, or at least part of it. The other part of it is this indexer down here. And that's got to come out. And I think I've got to go get my 12 millimeter deep socket to get the wheel off the shift drum. I think there we go. Just checking here, make sure that I have everything in place. And so our selector. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to have to disappear for just a second and get a 12 millimeter to get this. This is our shift drum here, and that's the selector part of the shift drum. I don't have my deep socket 12. So I'm going to get a couple napkins. I'm going to leave you going. I'm going to check the chat real quick. Not a lot of people checking in today. So if you just joined, get in the chat and type some stuff, I think. And I'll be right back. I'm going to get napkins and a 12 millimeter socket. Deep well. I'm looking for it. Okay. Okay, no interaction that I can see on the chat, so I apologize ahead of time. Okay. That ain't it. That ain't exactly it. I think I've got it over here somewhere. Good grief, I'm sorry, folks. A little bit of spontaneous stuff happened. Yeah, that's 1/4 inch drive anyway. Darn stuff. What am I gonna do? Dewey, what are you doing? I need my 12. Wait a minute. Yeah, that probably won't fit on there. It's got to be a thin wall. Yeah, because this one's, it's either 11 or it's SAE. That's just too big. All right, friends. I'm going to be right back again. I'm sorry. Chat? No chat? Can I see the chat? Top chat. Live chats. Okay. Yeah, now I can see all the live chats. Please interact if you're on there. Now I can see them all. I found it. Good grief. You know, I've got a lot of things going on. Hey, welcome to the video. It shows us we have a few people in, so welcome to the video. We're just working on splitting the cases here. Good, and it's a 3/8 drive. So I'm taking this shift drum selector part of it off. And while we're doing that, it's because we're setting up this WR450 to split the cases. There it is. Comes right off, no problem. Yeah. So I'm looking at the different parts on this selector. You can see that, or I can feel that this is clearly neutral here, and it just rolls into each different section. There's a pretty good wear line on this. This thing's been through the gears a few times. So that's going into the selector baggie. If you see a bunch of baggies in Dewey's garage, it's not because we're distributing. We're just being organized as an unorganized person can be. Okay. That's the wrong size. So we're going to set that over there. Tell me that I've got, there it is. Okay, so I've got to get that one, and it looks like that might be, This one is a 21, so I bet it's a 22. I might have it setting somewhere else. Or it might be right here. Oh no. Don't break your new tool. Okay. For some reason, there we go. It was on there really good. That's my little multi-tool for, there it is. So if I remember correctly, this one is a lefty loose, lefty tighty, is a reverse thread, and this is a standard thread one. Let's see how right I am. And look, I've got napkins. So I'm going to go ahead and get the counterbalancer loosened first, or at least that's my intention. There it is. And it's already fallen out. Which it might not want to. We'll let it hang out where it's at, I think. It might come off. I thought these were, I know it's splined. I thought there was a keyway on this. No, there's no keyway. Yeah, there it goes. So quite simply, this is splined a certain way. This will only go on, I think, one place because it's got a, it'll only allow it to get put in at the right time. And actually, I can probably look at it and see it. Yeah, there it is. So does this make me the WR whisperer too? I reckon it does. Now I find this a little bit interesting. But this has a tab on this washer and it was not folded over. It will be when I reinstall it. Okay. All right. Is it going to be a righty-loosey? Is it going to be a righty-loosey or a standard one? What say you? New engine build, yeah. Cadillac, what's up, Cadillac? For whatever reason, when I go horizontal like this, I don't see the chat continually. Like just now, it just disappeared. So, yeah, this is an 06 WR450, and the counter shaft splines have left the chat. So it's a standard reverse It's a reverse, or lefty is loosey on this. So I feel somewhat foolish. And we have a key. Or do we have a key? There's no keyway on this. It's just spline and that's it. Well, that's pretty nifty. Alrighty then. Alright, so I'm going to look here and see if we have any case. I'm just inspecting a few things over here. See if we have any case bolts. That will prohibit us from splitting the cases. I think our oiler may be one, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it. But I don't see, if I remember correctly, all of them are on the stator side. What do you say we split the cases, friends? Hey, what do you say? And I like splitting the cases on some of them from the clutch side. What a grumpy. There we go. And some of them I like doing from the stator side. This one sure is stubborn. And this engine's going to get some fresh, there we go. It's going to get some fresh bearings, amongst other things. Now that I've seen this is not, it's a toss-up sometimes. But that screw obviously wasn't long enough to be an issue for the case split. Some people might say, "Oh, Dewey, you're not following the service manual on your teardown." Well, the answer is no. No, I'm not. Shame on me. One thing's for certain is this engine oil does not smell good. It smells burnt a little bit. So, well, chat, what say you? Should we split the cases? We're going to split the cases. I don't care what you say. So, take that. This sucker sure is being stubborn. I just found my pick I was looking for yesterday evening, conveniently laying there, and I thought, oh, I'll just take this sucker out of here. that snap ring just went into orbit. Well, it doesn't have to come off. I am going to grab it real quick so you can see it. And I said snap ring. It's a circlip, which I like the ones that use a snap ring where you can actually get a hold of them. We'll get it soon enough. So what I've got to do is got to go around the case here, and these are all Allen head. Let's see. There's one here, here. That's a drain bolt, I think. I'm going to check it. Here, 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 and here. So I got some unscrewing to do. Oh, got one hiding here. Okay, so I'm just going to be thorough here and inspect, make sure I got all of these out of here. Yeah, that one's a drain bolt, so I don't think we got any more of them in here that's going to hold our cases together. So guess what we're doing? Another baggie for our case bolts. What? Dewey, you're not going to mark out a cardboard on where all these go? Nope. I'm not worried about it. Double checking. Double checking. These two are just that. These are our case savers. Doesn't look like there's any extra ones around here. What do you say we split the cases? That's kind of cool, huh? Um, I'll let you know what I'm doing here in a second. What I'm going to do here, I'm threading on this, our flywheel nut, so as to save our threads on our crankshaft. We're going to replace our crankshaft or rebuild it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Here's my case splitter tool. I think that it's going to accommodate, yes, it'll accommodate it just fine. Okay. And I'm just staging the orientation of this. Okay. So this is our, I think this is a Tusk case splitting tool. I actually had to get mean with another set of cases, and I ended up damaging the other one, excuse me. I had to replace it. So I mean, you know, I don't have a bunch of professional tools, so I probably should at this point invest in some higher dollar ones or higher quality ones, but what you see is what you get. If I went and did something like that, then I'd be on the verge of potentially ruining my hobby. Yeah, that's my 17. So what I like to do first when I go to split these cases, I'm going to check with the chat here and just see what you guys think about it. Nobody's been really active on the chat tonight, and I don't blame you. Yeah, nobody's in here. But we're going to leave this on here. So if you want to check in, please do. So I've got some tension on it. Alright, so it's already splitting over here on the tranny side. I'm going to double check over here and make sure we don't have anything holding on over here. We do not. So what I'm going to do is just back off the pressure. I don't really want this to get overly ahead of itself. Yeah, I can catch a nail on it now, so that's good. What I'm going to do here, since it's kind of favoring the tranny side, yeah, good. I'm going to move this anchor point over here closer to this case side here and see if we can get a little bit more leverage over there. Yeah, the last thing that I want to do, or I want to come off as, is some sort of hot shot. Coming in here and just flexing the thing off or splitting these cases. This is how you do it. You know, and some people do it without these tools, and that's fine. There it comes. Okay, we should go ahead. And most of the thing that we're doing here is we're pushing the crankshaft off of the bearing over here. Oh, gotta back it off just a skosh. And that's where that one piece I was telling you about. Go ahead and back it off just a skosh, because it's in a little bit of a bind. And we got some split cases. Hey, how about that? Okay, something I'm going to check with here real quick. I'm going to make sure that our washers, we don't have any washers setting here on this case half. Good. Now, as long as I don't have to split or push the crankshaft off of the clutch side, we're going to be done with this. So, since we got our cases, I'm going to get my little Dollar General Tupperware thing. I'm going to put this in our case case deal for a Tupperware over here. What do you say, folks? Oh, we got a dowel pin here. All right, we'll have to keep track of that. Okay, we got. All right, so we have a circlip here. There's no washer on a transmission. I'm just inspecting here. I'm just looking at this film. It's almost as if this oil has gotten hot at some point. Or if it was like one period or another, it was a long point of time between oil changes or something. So what I'm doing is the dowel pin or the rod that the shift forks ride on. I'm trying to get them loose, but they seem to be a little grumpy. I'm a little bit grumpy for that matter. So what I think, this one's going to come loose. That's right, these Yamahas have three dowel pins. I'm going to improvise a little bit because I don't like ending with something perplexing me like that. And I'm just trying to back this transmission out of here. It might take a little back and forth here. Vince Lombardi said, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." I hope this is in the shot. Let me kind of scooch forward so you can see what I'm doing. See, these shift forks have a little bit of a vacuum. Well, these dowel pins here. For crying out loud. Yeah, they got some, they're really in there. That's frustrating. Oh well. Let's work on getting another win here. This makes this a little bit more manageable. Now I got the crankshaft out. I don't know, I'll set it down there for right now. Yeah, we're just continuing with this kind of film. And I don't like this film sitting on here because that's not material that's draining away. If there's like some contaminants, they're staying in suspension in the engine when you drain the oil, and you're having these contaminants all the time. So I'm going to ask and see what oil they're running and how often they're changing it. I'm feeling a couple, I don't know if these are casting marks or something had I think those are casting marks. Okay, that's fine. So now, let me see if I can encourage our shift drum out a little bit. And I'm just using this tray. There we go. Oh, good. So a dowel pin came out. Oh, and that was the one for our oil pickup. That's that one sitting right here. Okay. 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 So I got my transmission out here. Let's see here. I've got to get our final, I'm kind of doing a balancing act. I'll make some sense of this here in a second. Okay. A lot of people freak out. Dewey, how are you going to keep all this stuff, keep track of all this stuff? Relax. Relax. Now, got transmission. Got our cases. I'm just going to set this just down in there for right now. Shift forks. I'm just inspecting here. Wow. Whatever that film is, may be something that leaves a good amount of residual on these shift forks, because That's in really good shape. And here's our main shaft here. And here is this is our first gear right here. So we got a large gear on the counter shaft here, and that corresponds with first gear here. Here's our fifth gear right here. And so our third and fifth wheel here are often ones that become weak. We're going to inspect that a little bit more, but this looks really good. I'm not seeing a lot of damage to the gears. This is actually pretty impressive. Looks really good. Now I am noticing on this, it's like that shift drum was dragging kind of hard. I'm going to inspect that. That's got a pretty good wear scar on there. We're going to take a look at that. But I think we've accomplished enough for tonight. And we got our shift drum. We got our. I'm going to inspect this a lot more. But aside from taking the bearings out of the cases, which we are going to do, we've just got parts to order. So the strategy for this is going to be pretty straightforward, and it's going to be, obviously I'm going to have to transfer everything off of this. This is the counter shaft, and because the splines are gone on it, so I have to transfer that off of there, and it looks like I have just a few. I got a few snap rings and a few washers to replace, and I'm going to really scrutinize the third and fifth wheel, these two here, and its corresponding shift fork for wear at the dogs where they interact. And if they're not showing anything, I might even take one of my picks there and see if it's, hard or brittle at them. But I'm going to take a real look at that, because a lot of times these fifth gears, I'm going to go and do some research and make sure. I thought it was 2008 or 2009 they fixed the fifth gear, but it might have been the 06. We're going to find out. But we got it tore down. Isn't that sweet? I think it's pretty sweet. So that's going to be the end of this one. I'm going to check our chat. Oh my gosh, I did leg day today, and I am whooped. Okay. Anything real quick? I see we got one person in here. Hello, one person. Look here. We've got our cases split. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Got all of our engine parts. And I'm going to put these other parts in these other bins. But this is a WR450. WR450, an 06 model. Our counter shaft. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. Oh. Leg day woes. See here? That should be a solid spline there. The sprocket, the countershaft sprocket was allowed to get loose, and it walked. And that's why we're doing this. Okay? That's why we're doing that. So that's the issue. That's the issue at hand. So we're going to take all these guts. See this O-ring right here? There's an O-ring right there that seats against this other piece. But we're going to replace this, and then real quick, I haven't put a feeler gauge in this yet. It's probably not bright enough here. Do I have my light here handy? I don't think I can turn my light on this. But here we go. Look at this portion down here where my thumb is. I'm just going to rotate this
And so right here, okay, this would be the exhaust side. Come on. We've got some pretty good scoring. It's not terrible, but we got some scoring here. Trying to show it. See that those vertical lines? And it was bad on the piston. So we're going to replace this jug. We're going to replace this jug. We're going to do that. I think that's it for today. If you haven't liked the video, please give us a like. Subscribe. I can see the scoring. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate you. Thanks for checking in, bud. And since you checked in, Dennis, I don't know if you saw our other video here. I'm being real careful. Okay, so here is our exhaust side facing up here. Got some scoring, and I've removed the top. I've removed the top ring, and I had that. I think you saw that in the cylinder as well. I'm going to check the gap on it, but there's nothing really. There's no play in this, but this is we're doing this for the long term. We're not halfway doing this. I'm going to keep this on reserve. And I think we could look at rebuilding this or putting it for rebuild or something. But we're going to replace this crankshaft. I've replaced one of these rod bearings, the rod and rod bearings on it. But, I think I'll leave that to the pros. That way they can get it balanced. We're going to go back. I'm hoping OEM on all this. But you can see I've got a little bit of stuff on my hands here. You can see that there's some interaction here, especially on those, and that's a corresponding lines there. But she was starting to get tired. I would imagine so. It's 20 years old, been ripping dirt roads, and it was a stunner bike at one point. But that's it for today. Hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.